Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. With a Spain news update, we'll have a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here in Spain over the last couple of days or so. We'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel by viewers in recent times. Also, before I begin, a big thanks to all of the people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's by buying me a coffee, whether it's through the super thanks option on YouTube, longer term supporters on Patreon, and the new supporters of the channel, the YouTube channel members. Thank you very much for your support. Now, straight into the news, and it was a big weekend for illegal immigration or irregular immigration here in Spain, because as we can read here, the Canary Islands received more than 1,000 migrants this weekend in a total of 18 canoes. Maritime Rescue intercepted a total of 18 irregular boats over the weekend, carrying more than 1,000 migrants headed for the Canary Islands. Just this Sunday, 476 people aboard 7 canoes were rescued, one of which was adrift, while another reached Fuerteventura on its own with 53 people. Added to the 10 boats recorded the day before, a total of 1,154 migrants arrived at the islands this weekend. The first rescue operation started around 2:40 a.m. when the Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre in Las Palmas received a notice from the Civil Guard about a canoe sailing 9 miles from Arguineguín. Around 3:30 a.m. the Salvamar Macondo spotted the boat and proceeded to escort it to port. On board were 37 sub-Saharan individuals in good health, so no transfers to health centres were made. So there we go, as I said, a big weekend for irregular immigration to the Canary Islands, some 1,100 people risking their lives to get to the Canary Islands, and this is an issue that appears to have no end. The Canary Islands are already under extreme pressure with this irregular immigration, and the rest of the country under pressure to take some of these people off the hands of the Canary Islands government and to alleviate the situation down there. But in any case, it's a complex issue, the issue of irregular immigration to the Canary Islands, not only to the Canary Islands, but to other parts of Spain also. However, the European Union today has announced a new plan to try to reduce the flow of illegal immigrants to countries like Spain, and Brussels will give some 200 million euros to Mauritania to curb the outflow of boat people. The intense departure of canoes from Mauritania to the Canary Islands in the last 3 months has placed this African country at the centre of concern for Spanish authorities, who have pressured the European Union to allocate more funds to a state experiencing a refugee crisis due to the destabilisation of neighbouring Mali. Spanish authorities are hesitant to outright say, even in private, that the Mauritanian government is relaxing its controls to force the reception of resources, but they believe it is making a call for attention that must be answered. It is essential to prioritise funds for Mauritania or the situation will worsen, government sources say. This week, Pedro Sánchez will visit the African country along with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, on a trip that promises to open more fields of investment in infrastructure, security and counter-terrorism, although the focus will be on irregular immigration. So Brussels, to throw some 200 million euros at this problem, give 200 million euros to the government down there in Mauritania so that they can help stop the flow of people from that country to the Canary Islands. But as we saw there, the Spanish government perhaps hinting at the fact that officials in Mauritania relaxing controls on immigration there so that they can get their hands on more cash from the European Union. So we'll see if that money from the European Union does indeed stem the flow of people from Mauritania to the Canary Islands. Time will tell. Now, the next piece of news, looking at Spain's water issues, we saw an article in last night's live stream about how the Valencian government, the Catalonian government and the central government have come up with a plan to send water from Valencia to Catalonia to help alleviate the drought there. Starting in June, I believe, water will be shipped from Valencia to the city of Barcelona. But the story has taken a bit of a twist because now, apparently, Valencia is asking the government to guarantee in writing that sending water to Catalonia will not be detrimental to them. Spain's water reserve is at 50.8% of its total capacity, according to the Ministry of Ecological Transition, with data from the last week of January. The reservoirs currently store 28,476 cubic hectometers of water. Around 6 million people in Catalonia are living under severe water restrictions due to the drought affecting the region. One of the proposed measures is to transport water by ship from Valencia to Catalonia. However, the president of the Valencian community, Carlos Marzón, is asking the Ministry of Ecological Transition for written guarantees that sending water to Catalonia from the Sagunto desalination plant will not harm the Valencian coast. So the Valencian government, now worried that all of that extra water that the desalination plant there is going to produce for Catalonia may have a detrimental effect on the environment in Valencia, and asking for guarantees from the central government, the Ministry of Ecological Transition. So maybe this plan won't be signed off on until Valencia gets those guarantees. Don't know. And the final piece of news we'll look at today related to the farmers' war that is currently taking place in the European Union. As we saw last week, farmers in various countries not happy with the way they are being treated by government. Farmers in France have taken to the streets, farmers in Germany have taken to the streets, and other European countries too. And from tomorrow, here in Spain, Spanish farmers will also be on the warpath. What changes and improvements are they demanding? European farmers continue to fight back. Although the mobilization in France has weakened, it has moved to other countries like Germany, Italy, or Switzerland. They are not going to stop, with the European elections just around the corner. The protests are also reaching the Spanish countryside. Starting Tuesday, they will spread to about 20 provinces. The farmers are asking for various measures: less bureaucracy and paperwork in the Common Agricultural Policy, known as CAP, because it complicates the activity of farmers. No to unfair competition to the imports of non-EU products which drive down prices, and enforcement of the food chain law, which precisely prohibits producers from selling below cost. So, from tomorrow Tuesday, as we saw there, Spanish farmers on the warpath. And they're asking for less bureaucracy and paperwork because it complicates their activity, and they also want to put an end to unfair competition, which they argue drives prices down. So we'll see how this one plays out over the next week or so. Now let's have a look at some of the comments that have been left on videos recently. One here from Robert: Technocasa forced me to sign a form. I would pay them 4,000 euros in fees as the buyer to view a 30,000 euro house as the buyer. Is this the normal practice in Spain? I did not buy. I thought seller pays fees to estate agents. Yeah, Robert, thanks for the comment, and sorry to see that you had a bad experience with the company Technocasa that I featured in a real estate video that I put out last Saturday. As I mentioned in that video, Technocasa is a real estate franchise here in Spain, different offices around the country, and I've known a few people over the years that have bought and sold with this company Technocasa, and they haven't had an issue. And when it comes to your experience with that company, not sure if it is normal or not, but you're in the right place, because I'm sure that through the community here we can find an answer to your question. So let Robert know in the comment section below, is it normal to take a $4,000 fee on a 30k property just to have a look at it? I don't think it is, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. One here from St. Pete: thanks for another informative video regarding life in Spain. Would love to see more homes for sale in the 500k range, since that price will qualify you for the golden visa, your ticket to the EU. Yes, St. Pete, aka Dave, thanks for the comment and thanks for the suggestion. Looking at homes around that 500k price, because that's what qualifies you for that golden visa. Do you have to buy one property for that price, or can you buy various properties that all add up to 500,000 euros? I don't know. Let me know the answer, please. And when it comes to that golden visa, from what I've heard over the last year or so, you'd better hurry up, because I know that there are plans to scrap that scheme. Portugal has recently announced changes to its golden visa scheme, and I imagine that countries like Spain will also make changes in coming years. One here from Rhett: my wife and I are wanting to move to Spain permanently. We have several exotic animals and a dog. She has a pre-existing condition, so we will need health insurance. I'm hearing about a DESLAs. Are Americans with pre-existing conditions typically acceptable into private insurance programs in Spain? Would anyone have advice on transportation of exotic animals to Spain? Yeah, Rhett, thanks for the comment and good luck with your move to Spain, and we'll open those two questions that you posed there up to the community. If anybody has any advice on bringing exotic animals to Spain, the comment section please. And also if you know about getting private health insurance here in Spain with pre-existing conditions. All I can say on these two matters, starting with exotic animals, is that last year Spain passed the new animal welfare law and many exotic animals are now banned here. So you might want to do some research into that new animal welfare law. And when it comes to getting private health insurance with pre-existing conditions, I have a friend who has a pre-existing condition and recently signed up to private health insurance, but the pre-existing condition was excluded from his contract. And I imagine that would be fairly standard practice here for insurance companies, but again, I'm not an expert, so if you have better information on the subject, the comment section please. One here from Margaret: my landlord is selling and wants me out. I've spent hours trying to find an affordable place to rent long term, but they are as rare as hen's teeth and there's nothing I can afford, even going a few miles inland from Costa del Sol. Yeah, Margaret, thanks for the comment. And again, I'll open this question up to the community. If anybody knows of anybody that's renting property in that part of Spain, the Costa del Sol area, please leave it in the comment section and we can see if we can get Margaret into decent accommodation for a decent price. Don't know if it's going to be easy, but we can try. So good luck, Margaret, in the hunt for accommodation, which, as you say there, seems to be as rare as hen's teeth. One here from Brown: good one, Stu. Something very common in Spain is rental listings too good to be true that don't exist in order to switch to a real property after the agent gets you to connect by WhatsApp. I'm looking to rent, then purchase in Torrevieja. Yeah, Brown, thanks for the comment and thanks for bringing this issue to our attention. From what I can understand from your comment there, real estate agents put a property on the internet for rent, a property that might not even exist, because they want to get you interested in that property to get your number, and once they have your number, they try to sell you something else or they try to rent you something else. Again, I don't know how common this issue is here in Spain because I'm not looking to get my hands on a rental property at the moment, but I'm sure that other people out there have fallen victim to this type of practice. If you have, let us know in the comment section below. And the final comment here from Christopher: you have forgotten to mention that if you are European, you will have to give up your first original nationality. Yeah, a Mexican can have a double nationality and many others as a perdón for all the crimes the Spanish did to them in the past. But if you are a UK citizen willing to become Spanish, you will have to shred your UK passport and British citizenship. I couldn't accept this requirement. Yeah, Christopher, thanks for the comment, and related to an article that we saw in yesterday's live stream about how many people had become Spanish citizens over the last year or so, have got their hands on Spanish passports. And the majority of the people that got Spanish citizenship in the last year, according to the official statistics, were from Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America. Because it's easier for them to become Spanish, they have to wait less time, 2 years in fact, when it's 10 years for the rest of us, and 5 years for people that come to Spain as refugees. So 10 years, a long time to wait. And also the fact that Spain doesn't allow dual citizenship with a lot of countries, and that's what you also pointed out there. If you're from the UK, you will have to shred your UK passport, as you put it, or at least that's what Spain will require you to do. But it's another thing to actually do it. And I imagine that a lot of people that become Spanish nationals and in theory should renounce their other citizenship don't actually do it and keep the other one on the sly. But that's just my theory. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. If you have an opinion on any of the topics that I have spoken about today, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.